Alright, so Ultra Street Fighter 4 is a real game if this is the first you've heard about it. And this is like right after I put the video up. The trailer just came out yesterday, and I heard about it today. I actually watched it uh, probably a few, well, it was a few hours ago. And I had to watch it because I was like, I can't believe they're actually doing this because they did Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition. I figured, that was it. It was done. They added, even more characters, even more balance, even more modes. I think. Can't really remember what they added. I didn't buy it after. I bought the first Street Fighter 4 because it had been so long since I played the game, or since I like bought a Street Fighter game. I was like, I was excited, new look and all this, and excuse me, I bought it, and it was fun. It was a fun game. The only thing I hated was, like I wanted certain characters, and then of course Super Street Fighter 4 came out, and I was like, oh, like I felt like an idiot because I should have known, but I was just really excited. And of course they added the one character that I really wanted, who was Cody, because I really liked him in Street Fighter Alpha 3. And in this new Ultra Street Fighter 4, it's not Ultra Super or Super Ultra, which would be interesting if they did that, but it's just Ultra Street Fighter 4. They've added four new characters. There's even more balance, so I don't know how the game could possibly be more balanced than three incarnations, but they did it in the fourth one. So there's even more balance, new levels. The four characters are Hugo, Poison, Elena, and Rolento, who is like the army guy for anyone who might remember him from the other games. And I only remember him because he was in Street Fighter Alpha 3. I never played as Hugo, Poison, or Elena, and the only reason I really know about Hugo is because he was in the Street Fighter Cross Tekken, or at least in the trailers. I don't remember, I didn't play the game. I'm pretty sure he's a playable character, but that's pretty much why I know him. And I don't know about Elena at all, really. She's just like the hot girl with white hair who pretty much wears like a bra and panties. That's about it. But she seems like a cool like speed type character, so that should be fun to play as her. It comes out early 2014, so I don't know what else they're really adding. Maybe even more modes and this and that online. I don't know what could possibly be added on, but it's enough to make it come out next year. If I remember right, it was early next year. But there's not much else to say because it's just I had to do the video just because it's such an interesting thing that it's even possible that Capcom would have a fourth version of the game. And I guess it's not that I'm surprised they have another version because they always have multiple versions. It's just that generally when they do that, it's like an actual different experience, and this is really just it's not like Street Fighter 3 and then Street Fighter Alpha 3. They are completely separate games, and they're generally different mechanics when they have Street Fighter 3, then there's Third Strike and things like that. It's different stuff, different characters, and obviously like I said, they're adding characters and levels, but it's normally a lot more than that. And I don't know if they made new openings and endings in the other games. So if you're seeing this, you can let me know if you got Super Street Fighter 4, if you got the arcade edition, if they made new openings and endings for all the original Street Fighter 4 characters. So you can tell me that in the comments below. But if they did, then I don't, which I highly doubt they did twice. So they probably did for Super Street Fighter 4 maybe, but I doubt they did it for the arcade edition, and then a fourth time for um, Ultra. And the main thing about this is just Capcom. They've had a lot of problems lately as far as DLC on disc DLC, and charging like a ton of money for characters, like with Marvel vs. Capcom, where you can buy Jill and Shumagorath, and they're like $5 each. And I was gonna get them, and then because I always thought they were maybe $3, which is still a lot considering, it's a, it's not that it's a fighting game. It's just that it doesn't add that much to the game to, you know, buy one character when it's kind of like that. It would have to add a lot more to it, and they just don't add that much, especially when you consider Jill is more like a Cammy character. Like if it was Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Jill, I probably would have bought it anyway just to see her, in 3D, and plus her all her moves are really cool in two, and then in three she's more like, like I said, she's more like a Cammy style character. And even though she looks cool, it just doesn't seem worth the $5. But it just blew my mind that they would even come out with another edition, and I just thought, why don't they just make five? And then I thought, well, it would they'd have to actually do something different instead of just add characters and more balance. And I guess they wouldn't really have to do that much. I mean, they could just have all the same characters and just call it five. I mean, it would really only be like the smallest little difference, but I feel like that would have been a smarter choice to just say, here's Street Fighter 5 instead of like the fourth version of the fourth game, which I don't know what that really says because I think this is the first time they've done four versions of one game, so that's kind of interesting. It's normally just you have the first, second, and third version, which I guess kind of fell in line with Street Fighter 4, but it was different. I don't really remember the other ones, but I feel like it was a lot different with Street Fighter 4 because they were so compact. It was like here's four, and then Super Street Fighter 4 came out I believe the next year, and then the arcade edition came out like a year after that. And just like Marvel vs. Capcom, that was like 8 months or 6 months or something like that, and it came out with a bunch of new levels, like 8 new characters or more than that, if I remember right. And it's $20 less too. So it's just interesting that they're kind of just doing more and more. I guess against gamers when you really think about it than they are for gamers. And there are some people who are excited for this, and it would mostly just be the like Evo tournament players, which is probably why when the trailer starts, when you watch it, which the link will be below, of course. When you start the trailer, it starts off with people playing the game at Evo tournaments, and it's mostly for them. Like I thought, I might actually get it because I haven't played Street Fighter since I got the fourth one, and I don't think I've even really played Super or the arcade edition. So I might actually get this because it's gonna be $40 again. It would be amazing if it came out at 30, but I don't think they'd ever, do something like that for us. But it's gonna come out at 40 again. It'll have all the characters. I assume they're gonna all be unlocked just like when Super Street Fighter 4 came out. It was just like you have them all now from the beginning, and you can just play the game. And like I said, even more balance and all the other technical stuff that really doesn't matter to me because I suck online, so it doesn't affect me too much. But let me know what you think of this. If you're a tournament player, are you glad that this is coming out? Are you excited to buy it? Do you have all the other versions too, and you're still just like fourth one, no big deal? Or are you kind of like me where you're kind of disappointed that it's happening just because it's the fourth version of the same game really, and they just added more characters, but you might get it since you didn't spend extra money after the original version. So comment below, let me know what you think of this in general, and thanks for watching.